Homeland Security is investigating allegations that a defunct private school in Metro Atlanta misled international students to lure them to Georgia.
The issue is whether the school followed the law when it comes to applying for visas for those students. But Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis says some of those students complained they wound up living in squalid conditions. Randy?
That's right, Lisa and Russ. These are high school age kids who dreamed of playing basketball in this country against serious competition. What happened to them has started 2 investigations now at 2 different school locations.
For I was expecting and for what I preparing for, it was bad.
Stefan Nakic and his basketball buddies will not be sharing fond memories back home of the time they spent in Georgia.
It's made me feel bad. I really feel bad right now.
The teenagers say they came to Georgia to play competitive high school basketball, recruited by this man, George Flint, owner of Faith Baptist Christian Academy North. Before he left Serbia, Stefan says his family was shown online photos of a mountain lakeshore campus with modern housing and a swimming pool.
But when the boys arrived here in Georgia last summer, they didn't find a pristine lake or a beautiful swimming pool, not even much of a campus, just a rented building behind this church here in Stockbridge.
And the housing? For months, they say they piled into Flint's small house in Conyers, eventually left to fend for themselves for a month with only a few days' food on hand.
The house was crowded. It was 20 people in the house, and half of us were sleeping on the floor, and there was in a basement.
The boys are now with a sponsor family in Florida, but their allegations led Homeland Security investigators to remove students from the original Faith Baptist Christian Academy campus near Savannah. The school admitted several fire and safety violations, and students are now living with church families. This morning, investigators executed a search warrant at the Stockbridge church that rented out the property to George Flint, looking for documents and paperwork for Faith Baptist Christian Academy North. The church itself is not connected to the school and not part of the investigation. No one at Flint's house would come to the door. His former students say he was disappointed when they showed up last year. They say they never got to play a game against serious competition.
He was disappointed because he was waiting for a tall guy, and when he saw me, he was like, I wasn't the one, he was one, so.
George Flint said that he's unsatisfied with me, that what he saw on my highlight tape and what he expected me to be, he didn't get that.
Now, Dr. Terry Sellers, the administrator of Faith Baptist Christian Academy in South Georgia, told me they no longer have any connection with George Flint. Dr. Sellers says they even sent Flint a letter last fall telling him to stop using their school's name. And he also says that, contrary to the allegations up here in Stockbridge, that the students down there, he says, were always well fed and well taken care of.
All right, but these guys had no food?
Yeah, they say that they were left with just a couple days worth of food, and Mr. Flint left for a whole month. And then they said they were moved to what they call a nasty apartment building later on, where they had no heat. And finally, another coach was able to get them out of there and move them down to Florida, where they're happy today.
Yeah. High school kids, far from home. They need to be taken care of.
Can you imagine how scared they were?
No. All right. Randy, thanks.